Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Up Supercast, the only podcast that keeps on trucking even without our hosts ready. I am your interim host, Muzzy, and joining me today, I have the man who is so dedicated to both his achievements and his friends that he's willing to buy a game twice. Brandon.
That's me. I'm that guy.
Yeah, can you believe that? You you had a hard decision, right? It was like, do I want to play with my friends? Do I want to get achievements? Why not both? But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that more later. We have Noah. I forgot what I was going to say about you.
Me? Nothing special, just Noah. Nothing.
I had
just your average Noah.
Generic vanilla with Noah.
No, I had something for you, and then I lost it. We're falling apart. I said we weren't falling apart without our host, and I lied.
Generic, create your own character, Noah.
And the bane of my existence, Al.
What have you done to Will? Where is he?
Look, all I'm saying is anything that goes wrong in this podcast, I'm gonna blame you, Saf. I'm gonna look. It wasn't my fault. I tried to keep him under control, but it was Saf. He just, yeah. I'm already ready to pass the blame as soon as anything goes wrong today.
My poor Will.
But yeah, so Will's not here today. He decided that he was too good for us. He's applying to be the new host at IGN for Nintendo Voice Chat. Because as you may or may not have heard, they had a little controversy. The lead Nintendo editor and host of the Nintendo Voice Chat, Mr. Philip Mewson, caught up in a scandal because he plagiarized a Dead Cells review, then posted an apology video in which he calls out Kotaku, and then said Kotaku writer Jason Schreier and many other people on the internet find about 1,000 more instances of plagiarism. So this was not a one-time...
copying other people's opinions? No.
So at first, when this story came out about the Dead Cells thing, right? People were like, okay, maybe he was under some strict deadlines, and this was his first review he was editing for IGN, so maybe he felt just under pressure and whatever, Turns out he's just been doing this in his entire career. He's plagiarized stuff from, not only from other smaller websites and smaller YouTubers, but also his own coworkers, and occasionally NeoGAF posts. So it also came out that he plagiarized his resume, and it's a whole bunch of stuff. It's crazy. This I don't want to talk about it too much, but just it's been going on, and it's kind of insane that this even happened.
I'm not surprised one bit.
How can one man plagiarize so much shit?
It's crazy. It's honestly like he doesn't have a single thought to his own. It's and the most baffling thing that came out to me, well, besides the resume and the NeoGAF post thing, because those are extreme. But yeah. he would even, when he would go for interviews, or he would have to talk about why people are excited for him, he would ask his coworkers hey, why do you think people are excited for this? The new Smash Bros. Game. It's really? The lead Nintendo editor can't figure out why people are excited for Smash Brothers? Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, it's it kind of shows how our society has grown to the point where you kind of look up to everybody else's opinion that you don't create your own, you know what I mean? And that goes with a lot of things, especially
really
social media.
Well, I think this specific stuff is exclusive to this man. I mean, this is just this is supposed to be his job, his professional work.
Quoting. Yeah.
My
favorite is the Octopath Traveler piece that he did, where he just straight rips an entire talking point from another IGN co-worker of his and just puts it in his fucking article as if it's his idea. And no one there was none the wiser. No one there.
Yeah. I kind of do feel bad for the staff of IGN, I have to say. Because, a lot of shit's getting thrown their way when, you can't really blame the whole company for that one guy's, even though it was a lot. But, how would you know, So it's kind of sucky for them. But what can you do?
To their credit, they have been quite on point and quite like what's that word? They were quite active in regards to dealing with.
Oh,
this.
I mean, they're actively removing, I think, all of his content that he's ever written at IGN or produced at IGN, which is
They even talked to Boomstick and discussed compensation with him in regards to the plagiarized review as well.
Yeah, so that's definitely good. IGN's handling it, but like you can kind of see like on their social media profiles, like this whole stuff is kind of taking toll on them. So I kind of feel bad for them, but
Well, I mean, they're the ones who hired a guy to be the lead, like the head of Nintendo there, who obviously.
it was definitely a bad hire. The guy who hired him doesn't work at IGN anymore. He got fired earlier, so
oh no!
it's been a rough couple of months for IGN. I'm not gonna lie, but
If Nintendo's Treehouse would stop stealing every single Nintendo editor from IGN, this would never have happened. Jose Otero would still be hosting NVC. Everything would be fine.
It's real sad. But anyway, I think enough about this topic. Look forward to Will being head of Nintendo at IGN soon.
Oh yeah, that should be interesting.
We'll move on without him.
And then Will's gonna use us and steal all.
Will's gonna plagiarize us. Yeah, that's what. And then we'll take him down.
Can't wait.
But anyway, that's enough of that. So we do have some news, believe it or not. Not too much, but it's out there. Diablo 3 just got announced for the Nintendo Switch. Diablo 3 Eternal Collection has all the content that Diablo 3 has put out so far, including Reaper of Souls and the Necromancer DLC. Has some features that are pretty cool on Switch, including the ability to... You can completely play offline, which you could on the other console versions already, I believe. Yeah. But you can actually, when the cloud... so this game will come out after Nintendo Switch Online, the paid service comes out, right? And if you are a subscriber, you will be able to upload your save to the cloud, which it does automatically. You don't even have to do anything. Just your Switch being in sleep mode uploads your save. You can go to a friend's house, sign in onto their Switch, and you can play with your account locally with them, which I think is a pretty neat feature.
That's a very nice feature, yeah.
Especially for a game like Diablo and a system like Switch, where everyone kind of has their own, but sometimes you all kind of want to play together on one system, So, definitely this feature is really neat. But yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere, right? Like, who saw this one coming? I know it was teased earlier this year with the Twitter a very mysterious Twitter post, which then they denied had anything
with the Diablo side.
Yeah, but So I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you interested in this port?
I might just buy it again.
I'm really tempted. Oh, and I forgot to mention exclusive Legend of Zelda content, including a Ganondorf skin, right?
Yeah. So it was armor, wasn't it? Or was it just entire
armor? Yeah,
armor.
Yeah, I think I don't remember exactly, but yeah. So that I mean, I'm really kind of tempted to buy it again. Maybe not at $60. Maybe I'll hold off for a little bit. But I really did like Diablo when I played it on PS4. So like,
sorry, I didn't mean to say buy it. Like I played it on the PlayStation 4, and I completed it on the PlayStation 4 at a friend's house, and I really want to buy it again. Mm-hmm. It's quite fun.
It's a fun game.
I've never played Diablo, and I don't know if this is the time I'm going to start. I think what excites me the most about this is Blizzard just putting a game on a Nintendo platform.
It's the first time in 15 years, which is kind of crazy. Yeah.
It is crazy, and it also gives hope to everybody being like Overwatch on Switch.
Yeah, I mean the someone at Blizzard did come out and say during interviews after this was revealed that Overwatch is technically feasible on the Switch. So that's exciting. Maybe if Diablo does well,
that would be pretty cool. I mean,
I would take a 30 FPS Overwatch with gyro control very easily.
I mean, if they can get Doom Eternal on the Switch, then yeah, I could believe fucking.
That's
Overwatch.
the thing. If Doom Eternal can run on the Switch, Overwatch should be able to. Yeah. And the big thing was, Switch is a portable console, right? Like, why are you gonna make a game that's only online? Well, look how well Fortnite is doing on the Switch, and you're gonna tell me that like you can't have a game that's like that.
Does it have local multiplayer?
Fortnite or Overwatch?
Overwatch? No, it doesn't. No.
Okay.
Or Fortnite. I
You
mean,
can still play it on the go.
But I mean,
that's fine.
Yeah, well, I've heard of people even like using their phone as like a hotspot and then using their Wi-Fi hotspot on their phone to play Fortnite when they're on the go. And like it doesn't work perfect, but it works well enough. Like you can play. It's playable.
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean, you can really feasibly play Fortnite anytime you want, anywhere.
That's hilarious. Yeah. I mean, I guess since this came out on the phone, you kind of expect it on the Switch, and it perfectly makes sense. But would you only just be happy with just...
No, so, I mean, okay, so, like, Overwatch kind of seems like the only one from Blizzard's thing that would kind of fit well on Switch, I think. Because, I mean, Hearthstone, I think, would be pretty cool. And that makes perfect sense for Switch, right? Considering it has a touchscreen and all. Yeah, so, I mean, I'd like to see Hearthstone on the Switch.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I do hope, because this is cool, right? Like, we'll get to the next game soon, but, like, we're seeing support from third-party publishers that never supported Nintendo in the past, you know? Blizzard hasn't for a long time, and then soon, moving on to the next topic, Bethesda, right? They just announced Doom Eternal is coming to Switch, which that's last week's news.
That's pretty big.
But that's, I mean, just the sense of like third-party support for a Nintendo platform. We haven't seen this in a very long time, you know? And
yeah, Bethesda is going strong with their support. They've got like Wolfenstein 2, they got Skyrim, they got Doom, the first game. They've been...
and like even Fallout, even smaller stuff like Fallout Shelter and the Elder Scrolls Blades, you know, just it's definitely cool to see. We're seeing, I think, with Switch, you know, people can be a little negative, myself included, about like, you know, the third-party games that Switch gets compared to other platforms. But I do think it's carving out its own kind of niche, right, of these smaller games, but also, you know, and you know, late ports like Diablo. But it's good fits for the system, though, you know. And it's definitely way more than Wii U or Wii or even, I think, GameCube, you know, ever saw, you know? So, I don't know. Exciting times for Switch. Exciting times for Nintendo. I
mean, GameCube got pretty decent third-party support.
Yeah, for sure. I'll say it's the best since GameCube, you know? Because for sure, like...
Well, it's like, GameCube got some really weird omissions with their third-party support. With, like... And here's some like examples which were always really weird to me. Like Dead to Rights 1. It came out on GameCube, PS2, and Xbox. Dead to Rights 2 never came out on GameCube. Burnout. The first Burnout, and I think the second one, were out on GameCube. But Burnout 3, just for some reason, it was left behind. It was so weird.
I think it's a thing of, you know, like those games didn't sell well on GameCube, you know.
You should have added
Whereas
Mario
with
Kart
Switch, like, I think with Switch, though, I think that's the difference, right? Is we're seeing a very healthy user base that doesn't just buy Nintendo games, but is also buying all these games from third-party publishers, which has not been a thing for Nintendo, you know? Like, usually when you think of, when you get a Nintendo system, like my Wii U, every single retail game I owned was published by Nintendo, you know? So, like... whereas with Switch, like, I just have a lot of stuff that's just from other people, and that's a good thing. That is definitely a nice thing. But anyway, enough about the Switch third-party situation. Kotaku recently re-reviewed Halo 5, which I think... I don't want to specifically talk about that re-review, but I think it's an interesting thing, you know?
Why? Why would they randomly re-review Halo 5?
Well, let me tell you why. Because Halo 5 quietly has been adding a lot of content over the years, you know? And there's so much more stuff in the multiplayer, so many fixes, so many additions, so much new content, you know? And we live in an age where that's what games are, right? Like, Fortnite that I'm playing right now is very different from the Fortnite that we played 9 weeks ago, or 9 months ago, you know?
9 months ago. Yeah, when we played Fortnite before Fortnite was Fortnite.
Before it exploded.
Yeah.
You know? And So I think it's an interesting thing. How do you feel about these re-reviews where they take a look at a game a year or two after and see what they've added, see what they've... How do you feel about...
This is hardly unprecedented because like they did this with like Splatoon. Like IGN did this exact same thing with Splatoon.
They did.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it's unprecedented, but I'm just saying like just the idea of it. Like, what do you think of that? You know, because I honestly like the score that a game receives at launch nowadays isn't really reflective of a product I'm buying. You know, like if I go to the store and go buy Halo 5 today, it is very different from when reviewers first reviewed that game. You know, so I don't know. I think it's definitely a nice thing, right?
So it's a weird situation where it's like maybe 10, 15 years down the line, a re-review may not be useful because you may not be able to get access to the same content. So it might be a situation where you need to still keep the old one up or some shit like that. It's bizarre. It's very bizarre.
Yeah. That's the really weird thing about how nowadays, like, how games work with, like, you know, in 15 years, you know, if you find a disc for Halo 5 and you have a console that has never used that game and servers are down, you're going to get a completely different experience. You're going to get that original original review experience. And it's a weird thing to think about.
And even then with like day one patches, right? It's like what's there on the disc is not necessarily... It's a very weird thing for sure. And I think specifically though, it kind of points to how useless a Metacritic can be for certain kinds of games, you know? Because what good does it do me to know what Splatoon 2 was like on day one, you know? Because it's almost a completely different game. There's so much more content. There's new modes. There's a whole new single player expansion, you know? So it's like, I don't know, like what good does a review that doesn't update do me, you know? And it
I've been on the train of carve your own path and make your own opinions on everything for a long time. I mean, maybe...
Well, you know, but some people have limited money and, you know, you use reviews as a guide as what I should buy, what I shouldn't.
I remember when I was younger that there was a Crash Party game that came out for the DS. And I didn't check...
Crash Bash. Yeah. Oh, the DS one. Oh, my God.
I had no idea what that game was
Crash
about. I know that I played Crash before, and I like Crash Bandicoot, so I bought Crash Bash. Do you know what would have been really helpful at that point in my time? A fucking review of Crash Bash.
Well, sure. I mean, but I think another thing is, instead of using, like, I guess a Metacritic or something, you know, or, like, a thing is, you know, pick people you trust. Whether it's friends that you know that play a lot of games, or specific reviewers that you've just realized that you share a lot of, you know, same opinions with, and kind of if you need to follow a review and think, well, I want to make a educated decision on whether I want this game or not, you know, do it based on that and not based on what a random stranger is saying. That you don't know anything.
That's good advice.
But getting to know people is hard. Why would you make me do this?
What if I don't have any friends?
Yeah, what if I don't like having a social life?
Like I said, there's specific reviewers that maybe you find that your opinion matches theirs.
I mean, but I do think, like, in general, reviews do serve a decent purpose of getting, like, a general consensus on a game. But I think going forward, like, how do you solve this, right? Because I think, because, you know, honestly, I don't see the point nowadays in a day one review, you know? It's really hard, because it's just like...
for some games, sure. Like a very heavy single-player game.
Like God of War reviewed... When that reviewed, it's still the same today, right? Like, that stands.
Yeah,
they may have added a few, like, quality of life changes, but...
They've changed some stuff in God of War. But to be honest with you, part of me is kind of tickled about it because now I've got this curiosity. Like, I want to see a review of Final Fantasy 15 because it is nothing.
Right? I mean, that's almost a completely different game now. You know, you can have a different ending now, right? Or is that coming later? I don't even remember what
that's coming. I think that's coming later. Yeah. Yeah. They're going to ruin the ending of Fantasy 15, which I kind of.
That's really exciting. I cannot wait. But yeah, I think we've gone along enough about that. That's kind of it for the news. Though I did want to talk about Mr. Brandon Lovett. You have been playing Overcooked 2 on 2 platforms. So you beat it in its entirety on Xbox One, right? Yeah. And you're still you've completely 3-starred it. You're working your way through the Switch version now, right?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that. Tell me how that experience was.
Well, first of all, I loved I was excited. Overcooked 2 came out last week or so. I can't remember exactly. But I loved Overcooked 1. It's a great, if you haven't played it, it's a very fun cooperative game. Overcooked 1 was only cooperative on local play, so it was a couch co-op game. There was no online. Overcooked 2 fixed that. There is online play. So, I was going to get this game on the Xbox One. If you're an avid listener to this podcast, you probably know I love buying multi-platform games on the Xbox because I've had a profile on Xbox for a very long time, going on like 10 years now. And, I love the aspect of the gamer score and just continually adding to it and earning achievements. It's very fun.
Yeah.
So that's why I buy almost all of my multi-platform games on the Xbox to keep adding to that score. And I was going to buy it on Xbox, of course. And, I had a couple of friends who were like buying it on the Switch. And I kind of was stuck in a position where, well, now what? Do I buy it on the Switch and play without achievements? Or do I buy it on the Xbox and alienate myself from my friends who are going to be playing online on Switch?
And they don't have cross-platform play.
There's no cross-play.
No cross-platform, although I did find a thread on Steam where somebody asked, and one of the developers said, it's not impossible, maybe in the future. But I'm not waiting for that.
Big mistake.
So I also have a friend that I 3-starred the entire first game with on the original Xbox, who was going to play local with me on the Xbox One. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to buy this game twice. I'm going to support the developer. And I'm going to buy this game 2 times.
Goddamn.
Did you buy them physically or digitally?
Digitally. It's actually... and this is a thing that I've been waiting for a very long time. It's cheaper to buy this game digitally.
Yeah, yes. Well, I think
finally makes sense.
I think that's a recent trend, especially on Switch with certain indie games where...
Yeah.
Because at launch, what it was is, like, for example, Cave Story Plus, right? It was $30 on the Switch because it had a physical release, but the digital price was the same. And that was really bullshit, right?
Yeah, I think Axiom Verge was the same.
Oh, it actually makes sense. Digital should be cheaper.
No. I'm saying digital was the same price for Cave Story. So, like, the price increased for the physical version, but for digital people like myself, it's like, why am I paying more?
Right, I see. Okay.
And nowadays, I think I've started to see this trend where the digital version is a little bit cheaper compared to the physical version on Switch.
Finally, I've been praising it for years, saying I will be more inclined to buy a digital copy if it ends up being cheaper.
Right?
And it was in this case. The Switch version of Overcooked 2 costs $40.
Jesus
digitally,
Christ.
It's $20.
Does it come with any extras at least?
I don't believe so. And then on the Xbox One, it was $30 for it physical and $25 for it digitally.
Well, Switch games still have that Switch tax going for it, unfortunately, where it's
the cards cost a little bit more to me.
Oh, but is it really $10 more? Like, Jesus Christ!
It's $15 more even.
I think it's interesting though. I feel like the ideal situation when they have to do a physical version that is a little bit more expensive. Make the physical version include some little bonus stuff in there, to make it feel like it's worth the extra premium.
Yeah, I think at least Cave Story did.
Because Cave Story did. Cave Story included a really cool physical art book, like in the vein of the original Legend of Zelda game, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But,
they've been doing a lot of cool stuff with physical copies now.
I kind of on nice. Switch. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss that collector's thing, because Switch cases are nice.
Oh yeah,
they are
sure.
But We're getting off topic. Because I played Overcooked 2.
Yeah, very off topic. Look, we're a little loosey goosey without Will. All right, we're a little off rails. But so Overcooked 2. Tell me about it. Tell me about the game.
Overcooked 2. It's a blast. If you haven't played the first one, like I said, it's co-op. The whole game is based around co-op. You play as chefs. Yeah. You have orders that you have to make. You're in a kitchen, and that's the basic of it. But so you have to cook everything and then serve it. Put it on a plate and serve it. But it gets very hectic, very quick. It all starts off simple, and you think, "Oh, we got this," and everybody is just making food. But things start getting really crazy, really fast. You're in crazy scenarios, crazy places. You're in graveyards, swamps, hot air balloons, all sorts of places, alien planets, making food, and things are moving around. The ingredients are moving. The places that you're cooking are moving. There's conveyor belts all over the place for no good reason. There's people crossing in your path, and cars, and wind, and everything that can fuck you up is there to fuck you up. So you have to work through it, work together, and do the best you can and try to get the highest score. And it's very, very fun.
So I have a question, Brandon.
Yes.
Let's say I already on the original Overcooked, played it to death, right? Is this just more of the same, or is it, or is there something which is fine? Don't get me wrong, but or is it actually like a pretty decent jump from the original?
Yes and no. It is more of the same. The main gameplay, it remains pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah, it looked almost identical. Yeah. I saw they added maybe a few new recipes.
There's some new recipes. Yes, there is definitely some.
And
new
that does
recipes.
change up the game pretty much.
New mechanics. All the new levels are use stuff that are completely original compared to the first one. So it's almost kind of like an expansion in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Just adding. It's not really overhauling the entire game.
But I mean, with the game like Overcooked has a solid base. There's no real need to shake it up. So
no, and I think it's very deserving of a sequel, and it's very good. They've added a lot of things, a lot of new things to the, formula.
Yeah.
The core mechanics are exactly the same, but and honestly, the graphics are a little bit better. You wouldn't notice it upon first looking, but the thing was, me and my friend had to play the last boss of the first game one more time, because the first time I tried, I did it at his house and his internet was screwing up and I didn't get the achievement.
Oh no!
So we had to boot up the first game and get that achievement for me.
I don't remember looking like this.
yeah, exactly. No, we booted it up, and I thought it looked fine, and then we immediately after doing that booted up the second game, and I was like, this game looks better. It has better graphics. It's everything looks a little more. Everything looks more colorful. It's nice.
Well, that's definitely nice. I think I want to pick it up. Unfortunately, everyone I would play with online is already doing that, so that's a no-go. But maybe I'll.
Well, here's the thing. I like this game a lot, and I wouldn't have bought it twice if I didn't. I wouldn't be playing through the game multiple times if I didn't.
Yes.
And the weird thing is when you play it online, the main person who's hosting it is the only one who unlocks characters throughout playing story mode.
That's kind of not. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't really like that either. Everybody was like, "What the fuck, Brandon? You're the one unlocking all these characters." But I was like, "Hey, I'll play this game through again. I'll do it.
I'll do it.
With
you can
guys.
each unlock it. Well, I'll play it 4 times.
Yeah, I will. It's a fun game.
How's the lag online?
Pretty non-existent.
Okay,
no
that's good. That's very important for a game like this. I think that's why they were a little hesitant to have online in the first game, but definitely good to hear that you had a pretty smooth experience, it seems like.
No, they nailed it. Online. We haven't really encountered any sort of lag or choppiness at all. I think Will was having some issues, but it was on his end, really, only.
Yeah, Will was having some really bad internet issues.
Yeah, but other than that, when he wasn't around, we were doing great.
Just like now. I'm only saying that because he's listening in. Well, moving on from Overcooked, I've been playing a little bit of, and you may have heard a lot of it from the people in this very room. Octopath Traveler, recently on the Game Club. If you haven't listened to that, check that out. I think that this should already be up by the time this is up.
Maybe not.
I started it after you guys all. I don't know. Have you all beat it? I don't know what the status is on you guys, but
No.
Not yet.
I know it's a. But you're pretty far in, right?
Yeah.
Like you're a good 50,
Yeah, we're
60
pretty
hours each. I've seen your playtime.
100.
Yeah.
You've all been addicted to this game. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, the thing is, he's over 100, and I'm at around 60, and I'm further in the game than he is.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what Saf does. Saf loves to.
It's a
But
sad
so
thing.
So I just started out. I am about 6 characters in, doing all their first chapters, and I am way more into it than I thought I would. Honestly, the battle system is fucking fantastic. It's just like usually I have an issue with random encounters. Not so much in this game, just because I enjoy doing the battles so much. You know, the music is phenomenal in this game, and. The only thing I don't like is I'm stuck with the person I chose first, which is a little lame, I think.
That was an issue with me too.
Yeah,
That's why I restarted the game and picked Cyrus.
Yeah.
It's funny because these are all things we talked about.
Oh yeah. This is all stuff you've covered on the Game Club. People have been talking about this game to death, but I just started out.
Who did you
I
pick?
only started the day before yesterday. I started with Ophelia.
Shit.
It was pretty cool. I like her. I just don't like that I'm
Stuck with her.
forced to use her, you know?
Mhm.
But that's... And also, I think it is a little, it does get a little repetitive having to do essentially, 8 intro stories in a row, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But, but these are like minor gripes. I really am liking the game. I can't wait to dig in more. I kind of wish I could just play right now instead of doing this, but no, I'm just kidding.
This is why we need Will.
No, but yeah. It's the only thing that's been keeping me away from the other game that I've been playing a lot, which is Fortnite.
Oh.
I don't know if I've talked about it on this podcast. Have I? I feel like I haven't.
No, I don't think so.
I have a huge addiction to Fortnite, guys. I'm 50 hours in. I only started with this season because they added gyro aim. But god damn it, I'm sucked in. I'm doing the challenges every week and every day, and I can't play anything else except for Octopath, apparently. I even won once.
Ooh. Look at you.
You won one.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, I have a pretty rainbow umbrella. I bought the battle pass. I'm like tier 80 something or whatever. I'm fully sucked into this game. It's a lot of fun though. And the gyro aim is just a game changer, let me tell you. I cannot stand just normal dual stick controls. So being able to like properly aim for me is just a godsend. So yeah, I'm really loving Fortnite, guys. But yeah, that's it. Anyone else? I don't think anyone. Oh, Noah actually streamed something recently. Super Castlevania 4. Tell me a little bit about that, Noah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like probably my favorite Castlevania game personally. Maybe not the best, but actually for me it's the best. It's like something I really enjoy as a kid, and to celebrate Simon Belmont and Richter Belmont being announced for Smash Bros. Ultimate, figured, hey, it's a great time to fucking play some Castlevania games. Yeah. So I went ahead and streamed it, and I beat Castlevania 4. And next week I'm gonna do Dracula X / Rondo of Blood for Richter.
Ooh, exciting!
So look forward to that. I'm gonna be on Twitch on Tuesday.
I just played Rondo of Blood not too long ago for the first time. Actually, I'm pretty new to the Castlevania series in general, but the last few months I've been kind of trekking my way through. So I played 1, 2, 3, the Japanese version, 4, and Rondo of Blood. And wow, I missed a lot with this franchise. This series is pretty fucking great, I have to say. Especially the music. Holy... Oh, that soundtrack is great.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's exciting. So yeah, stay tuned to our Twitch channel where you can watch Noah play Rondo of Blood on Tuesday.
Yep, Tuesday.
So yeah, look forward to that. Anyway, we have one last duty that we must fulfill before we sign off. Does anyone know what that is?
No. What is it?
Is it
List!
the list?
It's the list!
The list!
So,
The list.
List.
this week I have the opportunity to add a game. And I thought very long and hard about what to add. And I think I'm shooting for the very bottom of the list. You see,
Oh, God.
lower than Sonic the Hedgehog. I think it's the worst of this
Well, that's gonna be a
franchise,
toughie.
and the worst of that game I've ever played. The Legend
Only
of Zelda:
one
The
game
Wind
can
Waker.
come to mind.
No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, what?
The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. No,
Oh,
The Legend of Zelda:
no,
The
I
Wind
wouldn't
Waker.
do that to
You're
Will.
doing this now.
Imagine if that's the game I added today, though.
Oh, and Will's not even here to defend it. Oh, no.
No. I'm not adding Wind Waker.
Yeah, Will would have
Will
a
would
fucking
add
fit.
Falcon Kidding for Stop Rising with a heartbeat.
He would wait. No, Will
Yeah.
would wait till you were gone. He would add Kid Icarus.
Well, I mean, it
He-
wouldn't matter. I'm
Even if it
slotting
wasn't
them.
his turn, he'd pay us.
No.
And I
So,
would sell myself.
actually, I am deciding
I
to
would
put
too.
a game that is very near and dear to my heart, actually. One of my most played 3DS games, and something that got me deep into the franchise, Fire Emblem Awakening for the Nintendo 3DS.
Shit, that's a good chat.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, Fire Emblem Awakening, if you don't know, is the 13th game in the Fire Emblem franchise. It was made after 2 remakes in a row on the DS that were kind of poorly received. Well, the first one was poorly received. The second one never came to the US, but it's supposedly really good, but we don't know. We'll never know because it was never localized.
Never did.
But,
I know. I'm still sad.
so Fire Emblem sales were kind of in a rut at the time, and Nintendo basically gave them, the team at Intelligent Systems, a directive. Have this game sell 250,000 copies, or we are canning the franchise. And so everyone at Intelligent Systems was like, well, we're not hitting that number, let's just make the game we want to make.
Mhm.
And they made this game. And it turns out, just making the game they want to make is a huge
Good idea.
key to success because it ended up being the best-selling game in the franchise at the time. Over 1 million units sold, exploded in the West, and now Fire Emblem is like one of Nintendo's most important properties. Or even a game like Fire Emblem Warriors, just a shitty spin-off of the franchise, can sell over 1 million copies. You know,
Oh, merci, merci.
we're in wild times.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to this game. It's all thanks to Fire Emblem Awakening. With its very appealing art style, I think Yusuke Kozaki did a great job with the character designs in this game, and just general aesthetic of the game is very nice. You know, they added a lot of very good features to make it easier to get into. You know, a lot of nice quality of life changes, a lot of not casual changes, but you know, well, I guess honestly, yes, right? Because they
Making it
added
more
the
accessible.
option to remove permadeath. Yeah, more accessible. That's the word I'm looking for. I was like, what's that fucking word? You know, because they added a mode that lets you turn off permadeath, which I think was a huge boon to people, right? Like, a lot of people, that was like the main thing kind of
If
turning
you're
them
playing
off.
with that mode on, you're not playing Fire Emblem.
Well, here's the thing, though. When I first started playing Awakening, I played with that mode, you know? And then, but because I loved it so much, I restarted the game and played it again, but the proper way, and then I played it again, and then I played it again. You know? It just... It was just that giving me the option was just enough to let me dip my toes in, you know?
I mean, options are always good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely always a good thing, and yeah, and I don't know, like, Awakening's just a fantastic game. Fantastic characters, a wonderful localization by 8-4, very appealing art, and just it's a nice game to look at,
Yeah.
you know?
I think
The story is... I think the story is fine. A lot of people say it's trash, and I don't necessarily agree with that.
it's serviceable.
It's a weak middle, but it's serviceable.
Yeah,
Yes.
it works.
Like it's definitely like it was never offensive, you know. Like the sequel, which I don't even want to talk about that story.
The biggest part for me, and I think it's the biggest part for a lot of the people who actually enjoyed this game, were the characters themselves. You mentioned it briefly. Like,
Yes, the characters were just fantastic. It's very hard not to fall in love with them, you know. And then of course they added this was a mechanic in previous games, but they kind of went all in with this, right? With the new support system in this game, right? Where you can match up characters and they can get married and then they can have kids, which then you recruit into your army.
Yeah, champ soldiers.
And turns out
that whole kids from the future thing was just the characters themselves were cool, and like adding the children themselves as units is cool, but the whole way they went about is like how you recruit them and their whole like excuse of like a backstory.
I mean, it was definitely silly, lame. Right? It was like,
extremely lame.
we came from this future that's desolate and dark, but also like I like candy. But I mean, the stories to recruit the children characters were a tad silly, but I didn't mind them, you know. And I actually found it really addicting trying to make the perfect pairs, you know, to have these children that had the perfect stats and the perfect abilities.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why I played this game so many freaking times, you know. And just, you know, the new pair-up system was, I think, it was a little overpowered, but I think it was a definitely a good mechanic, you know, a definitely good addition to the franchise. I don't know, I love this game. It's probably, like, I don't think it's the best Fire Emblem, but it's my favorite, you know? Because it does such a good job of making things accessible, but not too easy, you know, like, the difficulty options are still there, you still, but, like, you know, if you need to grind, for example, though, this game does give you the option. If you don't want to, if you want that true classic experience, you still have that option, you know? There's nothing forcing you to do it one way or another. The art, and I don't know, like, I the characters are easily my favorite out of any of the Fire Emblem crews, you know? Like, it really just is a really fun cast of characters.
Fucking my boy Donald. Represent. Yeah.
Donald.
Donald is amazing.
I would put this game really high.
Before we go into that, let me just point one more thing. The way they introduced the support between units and like them getting married and adding basically the fan service to the game was kind of like a double-edged sword, because yes, it was really nice. I love to see all these like interactions between the characters. Like some characters I really like fell in love with, blah blah blah. But it is also, because it blew up so much, it is taken, like Fire Emblem in general is now taking that path. It's a very dangerous path where the main focus, one of their main focuses being the fan service.
Okay, but to be fair, we're not judging what Awakening did to Fates, because I think Fates is where they took it to the extreme, right?
No, I'm not saying what it did to Fates. I'm saying what it's doing to the series. Because
well, no, but to the series,
the thing that revived the series.
Yes.
But it's also steering it in a really dangerous direction too.
But I think
so. You have to mention that.
To be fair, my personal opinion, it's my favorite direction.
I don't mind it. Like right now, they're doing it. They're doing a good job with it. But it could turn to fucking gacha land, a la Konami.
Well, I don't know, but
okay, I don't think so. I think it turns into Senran Kagura land.
I would kind of be annoyed too, because I like how Fire Emblem is right now.
Like that, you weren't disturbed at the prospect of getting Naui hitched up to someone.
I mean, yes, but here's the thing, though. Like, I think we need to judge Awakening for itself.
I've watched enough anime.
Let's talk specifically about Awakening, and, you know, not the direction you because even then, like, I think Three Houses.
No, that's me. Like, but like that's what I mean. I'm only making that a point because you brought it up as it was the game that revived the series. But
that's not the reason I'm putting it high on the list. I was just introducing like a little backstory for the game, you know. But. I don't know. I like this game a lot. It's like I said, it's my favorite Fire Emblem game. And
where do you want to put it?
I would want to put it right above Octopath Traveler.
Good mercy. That's
way too high.
Alright, we need to.
I love Fire Emblem. This is one of my favorite franchises, you know, and this is my favorite game in that franchise, and the game that got me into it.
We need to have like a very, very high bar for it to reach. Like, for it to be in top 10. Like, we put too many stinkers up in the top 10. We need to, like, make sure, like, everything...
I mean, look, I'm just saying my...
Really? You put it at number 6?
Yeah. Except for a couple, but...
I'm just saying, me personally, I would want to put it... I know it's not going to get that high, but I'm just saying, that is where my place is.
That's where you would put it. Okay. See, I was looking towards more like number 20.
Okay. I would definitely... Here's the thing. My bar is definitely... I think it would be above Cave Story, Punch-Out!, Shovel Knight, and Dragon Ball FighterZ, and Super Mario Brothers. Like... Also, even Okami, I think, like... I feel like there's an argument to at least put at number 13. Right above...
I would not put it above Okami. That's a guarantee.
You know what? I can
you have to give me a pretty strong argument to put it at number 14, but you're definitely not getting past 13.
Okay, hold on. Brandon, my friend. What were you saying?
I can get behind around that area. That's...
Around the 13 area?
Thing.
Okay, so can we debate 13 versus 14, I guess, right? That would be...
I haven't played Okami.
Would you guys all be willing to at least put it 14?
Well, why don't we start from the bottom and go up like you're supposed to do?
Alright, fine.
I mean, is there really any...
He literally did that.
But that would make the most logical sense.
Do, but...
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I already said I would put it... I mean, okay. Animal Crossing, can we put it above Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
Can we put it above Valkyria Chronicles? I think it's a better strategy game than Valkyria Chronicles. Like,
actually, Valkyria Chronicles is a very good game to compare it to.
Yeah,
because they're very similar.
These are both strategy games, first of all, right? Both. They're both. I don't know. Like I think Fire Emblem Awakening is better than Valkyria Chronicles wholesale. Just personally speaking.
Aesthetically, I like Valkyria Chronicles a lot more.
I mean, aesthetically,
character-wise, they are more. But interesting.
I think.
Yeah, actually, yes, that's a good point too. Valkyria Chronicles has some really fun characters. Actually, like the game itself portrays its characters with a lot more personality in Valkyria Chronicles than it does in Fire Emblem.
I feel like, I mean, I agree that like Valkyria Chronicles, but like I think you're doing a disservice to how good the characters.
There's also a lot more variety. Like I feel so like they always kept things fresh with Valkyria Chronicles as well. Like there's a lot. You didn't have like route the enemy as like every single fucking thing mission for every single map. Like they changed shit up quite significantly.
I mean, if we're talking about pure gameplay though, I much prefer Fire Emblem Awakening. Like completely. Like Valkyria Chronicles is a very good strategy game, yes, but yeah.
Well, I mean, it kind of is similar. They still have a weapon triangle, while it's not like as obvious where swords beats axes, axes beat lances, lances beat swords. It was more like scouts are good for exploration, and like then you have the lancers that are good against tanks. Tanks are good against infantry. Like it was still there, maybe, but not as like actually not refined. What's the word I'm looking for? Not as like
clear cut.
Clear cut, yeah, I guess so, yeah. But it was still there, and it also had the thing for people that weren't as good with strategy games, like if one of your characters goes down, they don't automatically die, you can still have a chance to save them as well.
That wasn't really that big of a deal, yeah.
And like Saf pointed out, it had a lot of missions where you had to defend the base, or you had to rout the enemy, or you could just go for a specific enemy that you need to take out.
And I liked the options that they gave you, or like they encouraged you to go for in regards to this.
Yeah, and like the maps themselves, like when you traverse the maps with your characters, it's a lot more immersive than Fire Emblem is with its maps.
Yeah, that was another like.
Though Fire Emblem was constrained by the Nintendo 3DS. You know.
I mean,
yeah. Valkyria Chronicles though has a lot of bullshit.
Yes.
I mean, like what?
So does fucking Fire Emblem with this fucking RNG, but I'm not fucking saying that.
It does.
Like, how do you?
But I think Valkyria Chronicles bullshit was more about how the levels were designed. You know, I think
there was
a lot of stuff in Valkyria Chronicles where I just thought was poorly thought out. You know, I mean, overall the game is fantastic, but like there was definitely parts of the game where I was like, this is just a bunch of bullshit.
I mean, true, that tank level.
And
I think Fire Emblem Awakening is better than Valkyria Chronicles.
Well, we're at a standstill.
Shit.
I wonder if we can. Well, how? How are we going?
What happened, Saf?
How are we going to do this? Because I feel very strongly about it being above Valkyria Chronicles. To be honest, like I can't. I cannot fathom it being below Valkyria Chronicles.
I mean, I guess we could look at it bit by bit.
I think,
or something. Like the story was far more interesting. The way it developed and how it changed was interesting. Like there's 2 points in this game. Yeah, there's 2 points in this game where an important character gets axed, and one of them was a lot more emotionally involving than the other one because you cared a lot more about that character and you understood more about that character. That one was Valkyria Chronicles, and that's simply due to the writing and the way they not only did the story but also portray the characters in that story. There were other things that I prefer with Valkyria Chronicles, although you are right, like they have some weird difficulty spikes. One major one being the fucking giant ass tank level that you had to do. But
oh yeah,
I don't know. I liked Valkyria Chronicles more than Awakening.
As an
it was a much stronger product.
It was a much like enjoyable experience. Like you felt a lot more tied to it than you did with Fire Emblem Awakening.
Like I think the only thing.
Brandon, you haven't talked to me. Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna give Brandon the floor for a little bit. In the meantime, I'm gonna try to see if Will can break our tie.
That should be listed in.
But,
well,
well,
the thing with Valkyria Chronicles, and I agree with Saf in some aspects where, I like the story better, but gameplay wise, like Fire Emblem, it takes the cake for me in terms of strategy, in terms of just being overall more fun to play. When I think of a video game, it all comes down to gameplay, regardless of graphics, regardless of art style, regardless of story. Sure, those are things to weigh in, but gameplay is my biggest measurement.
Yeah.
And for me, Fire Emblem as a strategy game has a lot more depth to it than a game like Valkyria Chronicles. Well,
how would you define it though?
Very good.
Like in what sense would you mean?
I mean,
like,
Fire Emblem. Well, let me Fire Emblem. There's so many options, right? Especially with Awakening, right? With the way you can set up your team, with the way you can set up. I mean, like we joked about
a lot more.
We joked about the waifu stuff, but genuinely there was a very strategic element to who you pair with who, and how you set up the children, and just reclassing your characters and all. Like there was so many options and so many ways to tackle each level.
Exactly.
I mean.
Which is why I was able to replay Fire Emblem Awakening 4 different times, and each experience being almost completely different from the last,
with Fire Emblem, there's a lot more options you have in tackling a challenge in terms of character growth and which characters you want to use and how you want to tackle each level. But in Valkyria Chronicles, there was literally levels where, like, you fucking almost had to do it a specific way, or there was no way you were going to do it.
Yeah, no, and I definitely agree with that.
And it even got frustrating.
Because it was like, and I think with the strategy game specifically, because we're comparing two strategy, like, I think being able to freely tackle a situation the way you want to, I think is a more important quality than, having levels specifically designed to be done in a specific way,
which I mean they're both.
That's the philosophy of strategy games that we're going into now.
Where I'm comparing to a strategy.
No, because it's like that's what this game was supposed to be. Like you have to figure out. Strategy games are basically puzzles. You have to figure out what would be the best course of action to take to beat the level. That's what.
No, but I think the best kind of puzzles are one with multiple solutions.
The one that allows me to get creative,
I guess so, but what Saf's trying to say, I guess, is like you should bash a strategy game on that just because you have to.
No, but in comparison, where if you have a puzzle book, but there's a puzzle that has multiple solutions.
Like what? A lot of puzzles have
can
one
be done
solution.
in
You just
different
get to it in a
ways.
different way.
Yeah, it's
but when
not
a
a
puzzle
puzzle,
is-
it's a strategy game. That's
When a
the
puzzle can
difference.
go from, oh, okay, I can figure this out, to 5 puzzles in, wow, this is fucking ridiculous. I literally need to look up a strategy guide because it's so bullshit. Is that puzzle really great? I never felt the need to look up a strategy guide when I was playing Fire Emblem.
And that's not
but
to
I
say
still
Fire Emblem
enjoyed
isn't-
myself.
Yeah, that's not to say Fire Emblem isn't difficult, or that it wasn't strategic still. It was just that there was way more ways for me to get creative, There was way more ways for me to think of a solution, which I think is very much appreciated in the game. It never felt like... There was moments where, it was definitely tense, and I had to do a level, 30 plus times, But it was never like, oh man, the game wants me to do this very specific thing, which I very much appreciate in a game like this.
I mean,
I don't know.
When I look back on that fucking tank level on Valkyria Chronicles, that is a very, unforgiving difficulty spike, and that level was stupid. I never felt that when I was playing Fire Emblem. Pretty much any Fire
because they were
Emblem game.
easier to play.
Yeah, no. I don't think it's just that it's easier, though. I really don't.
I think it's better designed.
Yeah.
I think it's better designed.
Yes. I don't think Will's gonna answer me, so... This
No.
I think there's a difference between something being more challenging and being easier than just being bad design. And I think that there was some bad designs in some of the levels.
I mean, you want to hear a bad design the Fire Emblem Awakening had? Characters didn't have.
Oh, that's kind of.
Okay, that's.
That's a troll.
Is it good design?
That's amazing. No, but seriously though, I get what you're trying to say, and I totally agree with the fact that there is a difficulty spike there that is ridiculous. But however, you can't. It's still not an overall better package. Fire Emblem is still not an overall better package than what's his name, Valkyria Chronicles.
And I do think the
Valkyria
accessibility
Chronicles.
is something to mention for Fire Emblem, because it does give you that. It allows way more people
But
to
the
enjoy that
thing
game.
is, you're not going to rate a game just
because-
because of accessibility. You can't really do that. Otherwise, say for example, Cuphead gets put on this list. You're not going to put it low because it was way too difficult for some.
I'm not saying it's just because of accessibility, though, but I'm saying on top of everything that makes Awakening great for me, also there's the options of accessibility that makes other people to be able to enjoy it. And that's why overall, as a package, it's so much better than Valkyria Chronicles.
Yeah, I think I've already explained how I think Fire Emblem Awakening is a better strategy game than Valkyria.
I'm not going to put it
Chronicles
over. No, I can't put it above Valkyria Chronicles just because it's more accessible. Games can be challenging, but that can't
Just
be
because
another.
it's a better game. No, not because it's more accessible, but because it's a better designed strategy game.
No, because it's just still the same thing. It's still the same mission. It's not a better designed strategy game. It's just you have.
It's better designed than maybe level design, but other designs.
Yeah,
of the
it's
package of the
generic.
game is
Same
not
route, the
better
enemy
than
type
Valkyria
mission.
Chronicles.
Did you guys
Yes.
finish Fire Emblem Awakening?
No, but
Yes.
But it's it's the
Well,
same
hold on.
route, the
Yes,
enemy type
yes.
thing. You
No,
can't really
you-
call that better design.
No.
You guys both felt the need to fucking finish that game, but you didn't feel the need to finish Valkyria Chronicles. I think I fucking rest my case.
Oh, it's because I had a lot more free time.
How old
when I
is-
played
how
Fire
old is
Emblem
Fire
Well,
Emblem
I
Awakening
think because
now.
you actually were
Brandon, how
impelled
old
because
is
the
Fire
fucking
Emblem Awakening?
gameplay was better. It's not even that old of a game.
Yeah,
How old is it?
they're about the same. Actually,
6
It
years?
came out at the same fucking time. I don't know off the top of my head. It's not that old
So
of a
6
game,
years
though.
ago, we had a lot more free time. We weren't doing a podcast or anything like that. We weren't doing game club games and shit like this.
I didn't. I still worked fucking 50 hours a week, and I beat Fire Emblem Awakening. I didn't feel compelled to beat fucking Valkyria Chronicles. The game got frustrating.
You did
wasn't
beat it
fun
though.
anymore.
What do you mean you
yeah,
didn't
which
feel
I never
compelled
felt
to
on
beat
Fire
it?
Emblem. Yeah, but
I didn't beat that game. I got to the second to last level.
No, you were compelled to
See?
complete it.
Brandon was not compelled to beat that game because it was bullshit. And he has more time now than he did 6 years ago, actually. He has a job where he has more time to play games.
He also has more games to play.
No, you always.
No, I didn't. I had just as many games to play back when fucking Fire Emblem.
Whatever, man. I've got like 6 different games that I still need to play because I just got. But
I was at a worse spot in my life.
Though, like you say, it's a better designed game, but it's
because it was that good.
Level variety isn't better designed. It's just the same thing. But whereas like they have tried different.
No, hold on. Saf,
the maps are fucking
hold
different.
On. I feel like we need to correct the record here because you're conflating not having too many different mission types, which is true. You know, it really only went between rout the enemy or defeat the commander or siege the
defend or whatever.
And then there was just one or two defend missions. There wasn't that much mission variety. I will give you that. But the levels themselves were designed very well. The maps were extremely well designed. Yes. And to say that they were all basically the same is bullshit. Okay?
Yeah, it is bullshit.
Yeah. No. So I will not let the slander.
It's the same kind of mission. You're not going to be. Like, sure, there's nice levels. There's also nice levels in Valkyria Chronicles.
It doesn't matter.
The only difference is like they've allowed you to do a lot more different things in Valkyria Chronicles than they did with
No, the map design in Fire Emblem is in a way you still have to figure out the solution properly, you know? Like when there's a map where there's a castle on top that you can't reach and you're at the bottom on a beach where you're slower, but you have Pegasus riders that can fly on top, you know, like it's designed in a specific way,
which is nothing different.
But you still have this freedom to go about it in multiple directions. Like. No, but you're saying that Fire Emblem Awakening, like all the levels are exactly the same.
I'm saying the mission variety is
that is
almost exactly the same.
Because you were conflating the two, though. I saw what you were trying.
No, that is pretty bullshit to say that.
Sorry, when I say about the enemy missions, I mean like the actual missions. I'm not really sure where you got the map design type thing, but I'm talking about mission. Yeah,
because that's literally what you fucking said.
Meaning that I'm talking about the fucking missions.
No, you never said that the mission objectives.
What the hell do you expect from the enemy? Like what the fuck? I don't think I have.
Those were 25 extreme.
You literally said the words that came out of your mouth. The maps are all the same. That is different from the objective.
I've
is
said
all
this
the same.
like 3-4 different times. Route the enemy. Route the enemy.
You know what? The objective is always the same. In fucking Mario Brothers. Get from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen. Are you gonna fucking dock that game? Oh no, Mario Brothers isn't a fucking good game because the fucking objective is
when
the
I
same
say route the
level.
missions.
Get to the right side of the
enemy mission.
Yeah, Saf?
So ignoring that, I'm talking about the missions themselves.
I know. So, no, Brandon made a fantastic point though. Just because you're going left, right in Mario Brothers, does that mean it's a bad game?
I'm sorry. Are we comparing two strategy games, or are we comparing a strategy game to a platformer? Is that what's happening right now?
No, but I'm not comparing it. I'm telling you how stupid your point is.
Chronicles are platformer right now? Is that what we're saying right now? No, then stop talking about Mario Brothers.
No, I'm just you are a fucking dumbass right now.
No,
because I'm telling you how I'm using a point to tell you how stupid your point is.
No, but hold on. 25
You're fucking irrelevant.
25 extremely well-designed maps, even if they I would rather play Fire Emblem Awakening where I'm only routing the enemy. I would much prefer that than Valkyria Chronicles where there's missions that are bullshit.
Saf's trying to say, compared to Valkyria Chronicles has
and their missions,
in their maps.
Mainly,
but they're not good.
They're not good. The objectives are. I prefer Fire Emblem with the same objective type but better levels than Valkyria Chronicles where there's actual shit in there, but there's more. But for the sake of variety.
There is no way.
Just because you have more variety doesn't necessarily make it better.
Doesn't have less quality levels.
There's so much variety, and it's all like it's really hit or miss, Saf. The variety is really hit or miss. There's levels that really have stupid objectives.
Stop.
And they're not fun.
Now you're conflating two different things.
The tank level is bad.
You're conflating both level design and missions. That's what you're doing. The thing that you're trying to criticize me of, you're doing the exact same thing.
The missions aren't fun, though. They're not fun.
Or level design. Level design in
there are some fun missions in that game.
In What's the fuck? Valkyria Chronicles. got me so
Valkyria
frustrated.
Chronicles.
Level design in Valkyria
Seth,
Chronicles
you're really
is
spinning
still
it. You're spinning
different.
in the
There's
dirt,
still
dude.
a lot of different varieties and still a lot of different things that you can do in the maps themselves. The missions on top of the maps are also different, unlike the missions in fucking Fire Emblem Awakening.
Yes,
Okay, but there is variety in Fire Emblem. It's not always the same. Yes, a lot of it is. But in fucking Valkyria Chronicles, there is some missions that are the same. Rout the enemy. That's the same. That's a couple of missions are that. And there are some missions that change it up. But they're experimental. Not all of them work. Some of them are very bad. They take away from the gameplay. They're not fun. Not one mission in Fire Emblem do I say, this is terrible. I said that to like 3 or 4 missions in fucking
Valkyria. That doesn't
Valkyria.
take away from the overall package. Mm-hmm.
It's still a very good game, yes. But
so
I would
is
much
Awakening.
rather play Fire Emblem Awakening. Because it is overall a better designed game. It is better strategy. It is more fun. It has less frustrating aspects to it.
Valkyria Chronicles takes the higher position because it's got better story, it's got better characters.
You know what? I've explained to you multiple times why I disagree with that. And I am not going to go any further because I made valid points that you just completely ignore.
Just to make it aware.
It's hard.
I love you.
I love you too. But fuck you right now.
We're 20 minutes or plus of back and forth bullshit.
Shit.
I don't. Will really picked the worst episode to miss.
Alright,
Yeah.
I'm willing to compromise. I'm willing to compromise if you don't go any higher than fucking Fire Emblem Awakening. Sorry, Valkyria Chronicles.
What?
No, I'm saying if you don't go any higher than
Valkyria
Chronicles. Like if you put it above Valkyria Chronicles, I'm willing to agree. But nowhere higher than that.
Like, he doesn't want to put it above Cave Story, basically.
I would put it below Okami.
Then I can't agree. I can't agree. There's no compromise.
I feel like we can at least put it below. Okay, because we had an issue with above Okami.
You wanted to put it above Shovel Knight, though?
Yes.
No, there's
I would put it above Shovel Knight. I fucking love Shovel Knight. I would put it above
because
Shovel
the
Knight.
games that are higher than fucking.
Like, I definitely agree it's better than fucking Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's better than Mario Bros, but it's not better than those 4 games on the bottom there. Valkyria Chronicles, Cave Story, Punch
The list is canon.
It can't pass.
That's what I'm saying. The reason why these games are higher, most of these games are higher because they are actually better quality. And there's no fucking way that I think Fire Emblem Awakening beats those other games. No way. They're fucking barely.
Yeah, no.
I do.
There is gonna be re-ranking episode. We're gonna put Dragon Ball FighterZ, Mario Bros, and fucking Smash Bros. Melee down. But until then, we have to.
Even if Dragon Ball FighterZ and Super Mario Brothers were lower, which Super Mario Brothers I feel like deserves, but that's a whole other conversation.
Look, we have got like.
If those games were lower, I would still put it above Shovel Knight. I would still put it above Punch Out. I would still put it above Cave Story. And I would definitely put it above Valkyria Chronicles. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, I would easily put it above all those games. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't see how it's so like, how dare you put it above Punch Out? It is a better package than Punch Out.
Yeah, above fucking Punch Out. Like, Punch Out's cool and all, but fucking Fire Emblem Awakening is like way better than Punch Out.
We're not saying Fire Emblem is bad. It's just not. It was an overall package. It's not as
an overall package.
No, compared to the other games on this list.
Yeah, it literally fucking saved that series from dying. While you sit on your phone playing fucking Fire Emblem Heroes, you better fucking thank your goddamn ass.
We don't discuss legacy
Fire Emblem
fucking
Awakening was around.
With this fucking bullshit. We need to talk about the fucking quality of the game as a whole.
No, but we do though. No. Hold on.
You better fucking take your damn Awakening cartridge and kiss that thing while you're playing fucking Heroes on your phone. You better thank it. You better thank this game. Because if it wasn't for this game, that fucking
if it weren't for this game, we wouldn't be having this fucking argument for an hour and a half. So fuck you. No, but it's like, I'm willing to compromise. I'm willing to put it above Valkyria Chronicles, but nowhere higher than that.
Just one above is not a compromise.
Because we're going to be on a standstill for like another fucking hour
because
and a
we're the
half.
only ones that are giving leverage here.
I mean, I actually wanted it at number 12, just to be clear. But I'm willing to compromise
You wanted
to
it
number...
you wanted it at
13.
number... Like,
Well, I mean, no, I'm saying, but like...
You wanted to be at number fucking...
You wanted it at number 7.
or some shit like that. Some bullshit like that.
Okay, well, hold on. Brandon, you wanted it above Okami, right? But we are willing to compromise below Okami.
No, I want it... No, I mean...
Look, I need to go
It
take
should go below.
I need to go to the bathroom.
That's-
I need to brush my teeth. I need to go to bed. Let's just fucking
It's...
put it below Cave Story. There is no way that it's the better
Below
package than
Okami.
Pair Coast. No, it's not.
It's
No, it's
better than
fucking
Cave
not.
Story,
It's better
though.
than Cave Story. It is...
Yes, it is.
It is better
Get
than
out
Cave
of
Story.
here.
Yes.
Get out of here with that shit.
It is
Cave
better
Story,
than
I
Cave
would
Story.
replay.
Cave Story is not-
I
will not
replayed
get
over
out
and
of
over
here
again
with that
because
shit.
it's just a great fucking game. There's no ways.
Yeah, and I replayed Fire
It's a great
Awakening
game,
over
yeah.
and over again.
No.
But so is
There's
Fire
not
Emblem
like it.
Awakening. It's a better game.
I've put in over 100 hours into Fire Emblem Awakening, and that's a 20-hour game. So it's like, come on. Like, Fire Emblem Awakening is what I consider my favorite of its entire genre. Cave Story Plus is not that at all, in the slightest. It is not even a
That's
top
how
5
good
Metroid
Cave
game.
Story is. It still beats the best of your fucking genre. Alright, I'm getting way
No.
too fucking on
Bullshit.
edge. I'm just getting way too heated
No.
on this shit. It's getting ridiculous. Like, I can't. I genuinely I cannot,
It deserves
in
to be
good
above
conscience,
Shovel Knight.
put this above Valkyria Chronicles. You cannot, in good conscience, put this below Okami. I think
Saf's hatred
we
of
need to
waifus
wait
is
for
shining
Will
hard
to actually
right now.
have the final say in this shit. Because we can't continue this. We can't do this. We will break hearts. We will end friendships.
Okay.
I
Well,
can't lose Brandon to this.
at the-
I can't lose Mercy or Brandon.
Okay. Well, at the beginning of next week's podcast, we will come up with a solution. Until then,
You know what? I'm making a poll on
Oh, the poll of like 3 people, eh?
I
The
want,
poll of 3 different followers that you have on Twitter.
wow. Look at this guy.
we can
Doesn't
eat-
even care
look,
about our audience.
put that poll. I will share that poll with 100 people, and we will see what we come up with. Because
We will.
this is stupid. All right, this is all right. Whatever. All right, so we've come
You
to
share that. You share that fucking poll. You share that fucking poll on.
Oh my God.
Reset era.
Yeah, we will. So we are currently at a standstill. We cannot decide whether it should be number 13. Number 14 below Okami HD. Then we have Super Mario Brothers, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, Punch Out, Cave Story, or should it be below Valkyria Chronicles at number 19? So number 20.
So somewhere in between. Somewhere in
yeah.
between that.
So somewhere in that 14 to 20 range, we will figure out where where Fire Emblem Awakening belongs.
This is why we need an odd number of people on every episode.
I told you Saf was the bane of my existence at the beginning of this podcast, did I not? So that's
I
the
like that I'm just like here. I'm not even okay.
so that's the current state of the list. We will hopefully will fix everything when we come back.
Disgusting. I blame
Fucking-
Saf.
In the meantime, same. I blame Saf.
Yeah.
Send all your
Just
hate
'cause
mail
I
to
feel
Saf.
like-
Throw it on a Saf.
Just hating on me.
You can tweet at Jump Up Supercast. I hate Saf. Which, by the way, you can catch us every week. We are on all your podcast services. Check us out on iTunes. Please rate us 5 stars. That helps us a lot. You can find us on twitter.com/JumpUpSupercast, where we'll be hosting a poll. Do you prefer Fire Emblem Awakening or Valkyria Chronicles Remastered? We are on
Dan.
Twitch.tv.
Make sure.
Yes, Brandon?
I just want to say, make sure if you really want to know where this game's going, you better listen to next week's episode.
Yeah, listen to next week's episode and vote on that poll, because it might weigh on Will. Maybe Will sees what the people see. He needs that.
I would say
Don't let us
maybe
down,
Saf.
Will.
Maybe Saf would see what the people sees, but Saf is a dumb idiot.
Yeah, Saf is a dumb idiot, and we can't trust him. We can trust Will though
So you want us to use other people's opinions to form our own, like certain IGN review writers did? Is that what you're getting at?
This bullying tactics that's going on, this peer pressure. It's unbelievable.
You can catch us on twitch.tv/JumpUpSupercast. We're finally getting back in the groove of streaming. Like we said, Noah's been streaming some of the Castlevania games. He will continue to stream Castlevania games. Brandon, have you been streaming? Right. I don't actually know.
I'm waiting. I will be soon. I'm waiting to get a second monitor.
Okay, so Brandon is going to get back on the grind soon. I think Terraria Thursdays is back on, right? Yes,
it is.
Basically, Noah is keeping the Twitch channel alive, so everyone go thank Noah. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.